Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to yet another news session. My name is Nidhi, and I am here to make the complex current affairs simpler and easier for you. We are here to discuss the complex political, constitutional, economics, geography, science, tech, defense, society, each and everything which seems very hard. We are here to simplify them and here to form an unbiased opinion. So today I would like to talk about two most important topics which is going on in our world. One is from India and another one is from the world. We know that war is going on. Right now, Russia, Ukraine are on the war. Israel, USA, and Iran. They are also at the war front. The whole world has become turbulent. Geopolitics is now become unpredictable. You cannot predict what will happen next, especially when we have Donald Trump as a US president. USA is a super economy. It is a developed country. It still holds hegemony, but its president is unpredictable and USA is on the war. So, yes, geopolitics has become unpredictable. We are leading towards World War III, or maybe we are on World War III. I don't know. So, in this turbulent time, in this sensitive time, it's very, very important for other countries who are not at the war to take their lessons. Number one lesson that we all should take is to make ourselves so much independent that we do not have to be dependent on any other for anything. Currently, India imports 80% of crude oil from other nations. We are dependent on oil. We are not independent. That is why this geopolitics, this geo-war is affecting us very badly. We have to become independent on that. Not only in energy area, we also have to secure ourselves on the defense area as well. You never know what will happen next. Maybe in this turbulent time, Pakistan, Bangladesh, China, they could attack on us through land, through water, through air. You never know about it. And if you are not capable of capable enough, if your defense is not capable, you will again go back in a war. We have to become so much higher in our defense capabilities, in our diplomatic capabilities, that no one can even think of attacking on us. And on this front, India has shocked all the world by commissioning INS Aridhman in Indian Navy. So, what does it mean to be an INS Aridhman? What is INS? What does it mean to be INS mean? What is this Aridhman? And why are Rajnath Singh, the defense minister of our country, called Aridhman is not a word. It's a power. ये शक्ति नहीं, ये शब्द नहीं, ये शक्ति है. This is what Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said. Why he said so? Today, first of all, we are here to decode this, because if you understand this, you will you will you'll be of super proud for your country, and also you will understand that what is right now India's position is, where India is standing right now. So let's start with basics. We know that in order to protect ourselves, we should have a strong army which can fight through lands. We should have strong air force which could fight through air, and we should have also a navy which can fight through water. And yes, India has three of them. Very good. They are very efficient. But other than that, we also should we must have new age technologies, state of art defense mechanism, which is equipped with present generational warfare. Above, on top of that, we should be nuclear capable also. For example, if you have a gun or AK-47 rifle in your home, and if any the person knows that you have AK-47 and you know how to operate it, that person will not engage with directly with you in a physical fight, because you know you can use that. Similarly, nuclear power, holding nuclear missile, is just like holding AK-47 at home. If you have that, countries will not directly scuffle with you in any physical engagement. They will rather choose to engage with you in a diplomatic manner, in a diplomatic way, which is more good, prosperous, and safer route for both the parties. Because I believe that war is not good for any country, anybody. Even if you're fighting, if you're standing with the truth, there are high chances that you are losing something with it. That's why, but we have to maintain our autonomy. We have to maintain our aura in such a manner that nobody can understand us that we are weak. Same thing, same concept, it applies on the at the country level also. So that's why, in order to make our navy superpower, we have inducted INS Aridhman. INS basically stands for Indian Navy Submarine. It's so, by name you have guessed about it that it is a submarine. It is a 7,000 ton of vessel. It is a third Arihant class submarine. It is a nuclear powered ballistic missile which enhances India's sea based nuclear deterrence. It means that this submarine holds nuclear power, nuclear capability. That it has the ability to do nuclear attack on the other country when needed. It is armed with long range K4 missile. It significantly boosts India's nuclear retaliatory strategies, and it also strengthens strategic deterrence against potential threat. So that is why it is very, very important. So INS Aridhman has now been commissioned in India. It is made by a project known as Advanced Tech Vessel Project. Now, Advanced Tech Vessel Project is an ambitious project of Defense Ministry which aimed at enhancing India's strategic nuclear deterrence. It focuses on developing indigenously designed nuclear power ballistic missile submarines. The INS Aridhman total budget was 90,000 crore. It means that INS Aridhman was made under 90,000 crore. Now the question is, INS Aridhman is India's first nuclear power submarine? So the answer is no. Previously, we have also have two others nuclear power submarines, like number one is INS Arihant, and number two is INS Arigat, and number three is INS Aridhman. So we have we have basically a new submarine triad, a submarine nuclear triad. We have three nucleotides and three nuclear submarines which protects us. So even if opponent wants to think that they will attack on us through navy, through water, we are strong, capable. We are capable to stop them, which is a very super proud thing about India. In order to become self dependent, self sufficient, in order to feel secure, so United Nations Security Councils and other major military officers, they said that every country should have their navy, their air force, as well as their army should be nuclear capable. And among them, that navy, that submarines, they are non-traceable. So when somebody wants to attack on us through water, we can attack on them very first, and opponent cannot even detect it. See, such a good thing it is. So that is why it is tremendously important for India to have such kind of capabilities, and we have such kind of a capabilities, and we should be super proud of this. So these are the key few points we have for Arihant. The key takeaways is that it is a nuclear power ballistic missile. It is armed with long range K4 missile. It is 7,000 ton of vessel, which is made through a project known as Advanced Tech Vessel Project. It is an ambitious project of Defense Ministry which is aimed at enhancing India's strategic nuclear deterrence. It is commissioned at the Vishakhapatnam ports. It will stay at Vishakhapatnam ports for maintenance and other things also. So, yes, we have covered a very brief thing, and we have also covered the psychology, the why behind INS, and why we require nuclear submarines also. Now, I would like to move towards another topic of the day. So, do you know that war is still on? So, what is happening in the war right now? This is thing which we have to think about it. So, US, Iran, Israel is under the conflict, and we are witnessing a disruption in maritime traffic, right? Strait of Hormuz, as I have discussed earlier also, it is a strategic important for the all over the world. Nearly 20% of global's oil fleet passes through this. Before war, through this narrow passaway, it is nearly 20 to 30 through 200, 200, 300 kilometers long. Uh, I have to check upon the digits, right? But it is a narrow. You just consider it's a very narrow. Before war, through this Strait of Hormuz, every day nearly 100 ships passes through by it. But after war, hardly 3 to 4 ships passes through it. Imagine 100, and now the number has reached to 3 to 4. And 20% of oil, global oil supply, global oil is supplied transit through this region. So are you even understanding the sensitivity of this issue? I'm sure you are, because oil is very important. It's not only important to run your vehicles, but oil is required to run the whole economy also. And any disruption in oil is going to affect you and us, middle class people. So what is happening right now? So we know that Strait of Hormuz is now affected. It is choked by Iran. Not only India, but many other countries are affected by this decision very badly. Now they are thinking about another news. They have a plan B, because US President Donald Trump is saying that he is going to end the war. There's speculation that US might exit without securing Strait of Hormuz. US started the war In response, Iran blocked the Strait of Hormuz. India, Gulf, European countries, Canada, Central Asian countries, they have no role in it. But why they are impacting? Why this war is impacting them, their citizens? And now US is saying, I don't know whether Strait of Hormuz will close or open. I'm going to end this war. I'm going away. He's going at the back foot now. Iran, if Iran will not open that, what will happen? Of course, it is going to impact these countries' people, middle class people, serving class people. It's going to impact them. So, what we should do? So, what's their plan B? I tell you, oil runs economy. If people do not get their enough oil, it can even lead to political instability, law and order situation, food inflation is going to become very high, and head and core inflation is going to very high. Currency is going to devalue, and it has many other factors it's going to affect. But what we can do in this situation, what does other countries are thinking? Now other countries are now thinking that they will make a separate group which will engage with Iran in a diplomacy manner. Their first strategies, they are going to avoid military escalations. They will help, they will take the help of United Nations mediation, and they're going to peacefully ask for them. And even if this all they're going to if their steps are going to fail, they will also do a naval coordination also in front of Strait of Hormuz. This is what their strategy is. Now this thing, it basically shows how world has now become a multipolar world, because this war has affected, it has weakened the US hegemony in the world. They have seen the true faces of US. Many countries are moving towards de-dollarization. They are trading on their local currencies. World hegemony of USA is now impacted through this. So that is why it is going to affect them. So this is the main cause which we are right now facing. So let us see what is going to escalate in this war. This war is going has become more has escalated. It has become more interested, and it is going to impact you and us very soon. So we have to think what we have to do. I'm leaving you here with a right now, but I will come back tomorrow with a new news headline. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about both of these issues. Till then, stay happy, stay safe. Bye bye.